It's like a pizza crunch without the batter. It's like the wood juice without the water. You'll never get the knickers off her. What a fucking chance. Premeditated batter. Premeditated batter.
Before we begin the podcast, people, this is just a quick message for myself to thank you for your loyal and loving support. I wouldn't be sitting in this couch if it wasn't without yous, but I must ask you to support me a wee bit more. My Patreon is available now for subscription. I would ask you, please, for the bottom of your heart and your bank account, come and support them, man. Help me turn this into a full-time job. I've been doing this a couple of years now, and I really want to progress to the next level where I can make endless content. I will always feature guest episodes on YouTube, so never fear, that will always be available to anybody that wants to watch them. But if you subscribe to the Patreon, you will get notified first before anybody of who that week's guest will be. You also have the option to suggest what kind of guests you'd like to see on the programme. I'll also do extra bonus content, for example, reaction videos to tunes, rap battles, to films, to anything that you want to see. Remember, when you are signed up to the Patreon, you have exclusive control. You suggest the content you want to see. What do you want to watch? And I'll do my best to accommodate your requests. I'll also be uploading behind the scenes footage to the Patreon, so how I set up for Premeditated Patter, what goes on off the camera that you see on YouTube will be available on the Patreon. How much do I ask for this? Ask for a £5 a month. £5 per month is the total. That's all I ask of you, and you will get this endless stream of bonus content. The love you give will also be the love you get. Enjoy the podcast, people. Woohoo! The music is the thing that just doesn't catch on, but it's the thing I'm most passionate about. The thing I just enjoy. That's what it all started for. I played a guitar and that.
Because would you do a mix? It's like hip hop and you go back into Indian and a bit of folk and all that.
I think I've got ADHD or something, man, because I pure jump between them. But it's just, I've kind of started to try and blend them on now, so now, because I've got a band together. And what I try and do is do like kind of indie rap, where it's kind of like guitars and shit. It's got melodies, but it's kind of rap style. Because see, when I say to people I do indie rap, they're like, ah, really? It's like a pure, that's a niche.
Yeah, you kind of have to like scout about and find your lane and then just like...
That's exactly it, mate. That's exactly it. It's trying to find what works for you, because I've done the singer-songwriter stuff. I've done like parodies at first. And I didn't do them at first. I wrote tunes and that, man, but I loved Oasis. It was Oasis I picked up a guitar, obviously, as you can see, you know what I mean? That's the reason I picked up a guitar. So with that, that's the kind of tunes I tried to write. But after a while, I just reached this fucking pure... a stalemate. It was just like that, all sounded the fucking same, and then just hitting a pure writer's block, and I was like, I need to keep myself, keep it different, mix it up, know what I mean, to keep myself interested, know what I'm talking about. So how's yourself anyway, man? It's good to have you in the Patter Pouffe.
I'm not bad, mate, thanks for having me here. What about yourself?
I'm great, mate, I'm great. It's been a fucking mental day, if I'm being honest, man. I ended up arguing with a farmer on Tinder, right? This mad bird. Tinder ended up arguing with birds in Tinder, fuck. And then I get a letter saying I'm fucking getting taken to court for not paying my council tax within the space of 10 minutes before I had my first coffee. So I think I've negotiated both situations, right? But it's been an interesting day to start, but I'm glad you've came down to join me, man. It's very beautiful. And see, I love making music, so I can relate to people that make music. But I've not had many people on that play the guitar and that kind of stuff, man. So what's your story? How did you end up finding yourself getting into music?
Well, goes way back. So I mean, when I go way back to like my kind of young child days, I just always wanted to like same with like Oasis, Blink-182, and who's the other one? Green Day. I used to listen to loads of that when I was wee, and I just wanted to go and buy a guitar. So I saved up my pocket money, bought myself a guitar, kind of self-taught myself for there. Started out singing, just going around the pubs, the open mics, and then kind of during lockdown I just knuckled down and just went for my own singer-songwriter project.
Really?
So that kicked off 2020. I released my first song, The Sesh, and then from there I've just been lucky enough to be doing more songs and then travelling a bit, mainly the UK, just playing festivals and shows and that.
So do you do a lot of shows up and down the country?
Aye. So like this year I ended up doing 2 shows in Glasgow at the start of the year. One was with a promoter called This Feeling, right, which was big in 2023, so that kind of showcases the best in the up and coming scene in the UK. And then I done New Year's Revolution, which is at King Tut's. So I played that as a support, and then going on to play King Tut's on the 14th of July, which is going to be class. And then also I was just back from playing the Isle of Wight Festival.
How's the Isle of Wight?
It's superb, man. What an experience, like.
Well, is it? I've never been to that festival. Is it a good festival?
Aye, great festival. So I think it's like the second biggest in the UK. Massive. Like about 15 stages. It reminded me of the good old Tina Park. It was
really?
kind of similar to that, but just a great crowd. I done two great sets and just met loads of great people and seen a lot of great music. So
did you meet any famous artists?
I bumped into a couple. I think some of the people I managed to see. One was I seen Jamie Webster briefly.
Oh,
there was
love his music, man.
Red Rum Club. So two great artists that have done really well. Artists and band that's done really well in the past couple of years.
So see when you picked up the guitar the first time, that you say you were young, you were what age were you about roughly?
Oh, like must have been about like 9-10, round about that.
Really?
Like,
So that
really young,
very young?
Yeah.
When did you start writing songs?
Writing songs. So I think my first couple of ideas would probably date back to being maybe about 19, 20, round about that sort of frame.
Right.
Just running through there to early 20s, but I just never had the balls to actually release or sing.
Really? Aye, so we just got a lot of writing?
Probably early 20s, so I had loads of ideas, so a lot of stuff, you know, especially nowadays when I write, man, I'll come up with loads of like narratives, because I'm kind of like a storyteller. Like,
right.
I think my music's kind of storytelling, and big anthemic choruses and hooks. That's what I do.
Nah, you can't go wrong. Can't go wrong. Big anthemic hook.
Like, that's
exactly, mate. Exactly. Borrow for the best, innit?
But that's really just that's where I'm good at. Just for me, going to gigs, if everybody's jumping about, going mental, they're having a good time. Obviously, it's different for everybody, but that's sort of me. So there's loads of things over the years that I've just came up with ideas, melodies, riffs, words. And just kind of work them over time.
So see, when you first started writing songs, what gave you the inspiration? Because you said it was 10 years you've been playing the guitar. At what point you're like, right, I'm going to start writing mine stuff?
I'm going to go for it. It's mad. So like one of my, I love Jerry Cinnamon and Jerry Cinnamon songs. So I always, the one that sticks out for me is Canter, and it's like, this is the beginning of the rest of your life. That was it, man. That was just I think for a lot of folk in Scotland and that, it was just like a bit up the backside, like you need to go and do some of your life.
Ah,
you know what I mean?
Definitely, man, because I started writing tunes as well when I started playing the guitar. I started thinking about with a band, and one of them encouraged it, like I just write whatever, you can only get better. And the thing that got me, because I had that thing in my head, well, I can't write this, try to write a tune, and you start, you're kind of cringing. I was anyway, cringing at first, like, can't write about this and all that, man, can't so slaughter me. And then I had a thought, like, nobody needs to hear it. I can, like, know what I mean, unless somebody, I let them hear it. So that's what kind of, for me, I was able to sit in my own company and write about stuff. See, at the start, what were you writing about? Were you just writing about your life, or was there anything in your head that you felt as if I need to get this out in some form of art?
So every time I write, I've got a message I want to get across, like a narrative. But at first it was my life. So the first song was called The Sesh. So that was literally just about going out.
So was that the first tune you ever wrote? Or just the first one you released?
First one I released. So that example was, again, about my life. It was just going back through the phase of my life where you would just literally go Friday to Sunday and you would just get hammered every weekend, and that would be
standard, mate.
And you would
better than Mace, bro.
and you would end up in a cycle, and you'd repeat it all the time. So it's a mix of that, plus the knock-on effects for that is you can end up in quite a dark place. You know what I mean? So that was kind of the message to it as well. So there was kind of like a dual message there. So a lot of times it's just about my life, what I see in my friends and my family's life, and then also if I'm observing just like what's going on in the world. Like what's going on in the world, can you write something there? Can you get a message across that's going to make a wee bit of difference?
Aye, totally, man, totally as well. It's a great vessel for expression. See, like the old songwriting, as they say, man, because when I started as well, I think it's a Glaswegian thing. The first thing I wrote was about getting mad with it, because it's like, right, what do I do?
Right.
What's happening in my life right now?
Get the mad dog.
I'm fucking always mad, mate. There's a start. Let me stop you right there, pal. Hate to interrupt, but you need to shut your mouth right now and let the big man get yapping. This is a short message for your sponsors, Ross Harper Solicitors. Are you needing criminal representation in court? Do you feel that you and your lawyer don't have the relationship that you think you need for him or her today the job that they need to get you off. I've got just the man for you. Nigel Scullion at Ross Harper Solicitors is a true embodiment of what it means to be a good lawyer. And I'm not just talking about in the courtroom. Nigel seeks to develop a personal relationship with his clients. He wants to keep you at the courtroom. He's not just wanting to fill his pockets. He wants to get you in, get you out, and set you on a path of freedom. Nigel has got his clientele at his heart. But don't get me wrong, in the courtroom, he is a stallion. He will fight tooth and nail to keep you from going up to the big boy house, or the big girl house, or the big them house. I've known Nigel a couple of months and I've developed a personal relationship with him. He's very relatable. I've met a good few lawyers in my time. Nigel's young and he's feisty and he's ferocious, but he's a friendly guy. Any support you need outside the courtroom, he will provide it for you. And Nigel's the kind of guy that will offer you the kind of support that doesn't need a legal aid certificate signed after it. He's a great guy and an even better lawyer. He comes from a long line of good lawyers. This man has got criminal defence in his genes. Just think about it. Do you want to go to jail or do you want to go home? And if you've not got a home, Nigel's the kind of man that will help you find the correct support services you need, because his work goes far beyond the realms of inside the courtroom. This is a guy that cares about his clients, and he sees them as more than clients. He sees them as people. He sees people that have, for whatever reason, they've ended up in maybe a wee dark point in their life. He seeks to get them out it and keep them out it. So look no further than Nigel Scullion at Ross Harper Solicitors to support you and your needs in staying out the jail. 0800 11 12 13 is the contact number. If you want to get them online, it's www.rossharper.com. You can direct message him on Instagram at Ross Harper Scotland, TikTok at Ross Harper 61, and you can find him on Facebook at Ross Harper. To sum Nigel Scullion up in a short sentence, he's old school with a new energy. Check them out, people. Ross Harper Solicitors. But in the meantime, enjoy the podcast. I don't know if this is a thing that's shared by everybody. Whenever you write a tune, or me personally, you're always thinking, like, I want to write something people are going to jump to, people are going to get, and all that. People, it's going to be the pure crowd pleaser. And naturally, if people are at a gig, they're fucking mad with it. Standard, there's fucking beer, there's fucking booze, know what I mean? So it comes hand in hand. So it's for the offset, try to connect with the audience. Yeah,
100%. It's two ways. That, like, I love that as well. If I go to a gig or a festival, you're waiting for that absolute indie banger that everybody's going to go mental to. But as well, with the way you write, you can connect with folk, and folk can listen and see a lyric, and you can just trigger, memories in their head. Aye. And then that's a connection. You know what I mean? That's a connection with the audience and that as well. So it's kind of those two things. Mm-hmm. That's the sort of art of it all, just to get everybody together.
It brings people together. It's a magical thing, old music, man. See, especially there's certain lyrics and certain songs that everybody just gets. It's like, maybe there'll be one you'll hear a tune like, I like this song, I like that lyric, and it connects with you individually. But maybe, as you say, you've got that big indie banger, like one band or an artist plays and every cunt, they're singing it word for word. There's certain lines that stand out. If you use Oasis, for example, know what I mean? There's a lot of lines that stand out and you're like, every cunt connects over that. It's a great connector. And I was pure looking at it like, right, music came about. It's been about fucking, I think, since the dawn of time. Roughly no long after the start of mankind. Some form of music, and it's grown and expanded throughout the ages. But it's more, I say it's like, right, if you're going to be blunt and theoretical or whatever, music is a sound, you hear it, but it's much more than that. It's fucking spiritual, it's emotional, man, it's therapy, you know what I mean? You feel it, you experience it. As you say, you hear a certain line in a song, you hear a certain song, it will transport you back to like a memory. Sometimes I'll be listening to a tune and it will remind me about something I forgot. Know what I'm talking about? I'll remember, remember that tune came out, X, Y, and Z happened, and it takes you back. It's like an emotional time machine.
100%. Like one of the recent ones, like I've listened to loads because I watched Oasis at the Barrowlands. You got that on YouTube. Great gig. So there's a section when Noel Gallagher just comes out, they go off and he does the acoustic. So it's half the world away. It's like starts, I would like to leave this city. So just straight away stuff like that just connects with anybody that like knows that they need to leave their hometown and go and travel the world and that, and show people how good they are and work with different people just to kind of chase your dreams. So that's kind of, for me, like, they're a massive and great example of that. Plus as well, it's like kind of said, it's spiritual. It's also like, I think the very biggest bands, artists, it's it's not just music, it's a movement at the end of the day. Like Oasis, if they get back together, then there's stadiums, and it's not just in Manchester, it's like all over the world,
worldwide, mate.
and everybody's turning up dressed like this.
I'm growing my hair for the occasion, know what I mean?
Adidas trainers, big Fred Perry or Pretty Green or Adidas total long coats and stuff like that, and then, you know what I mean, there's just thousands upon thousands of folk turning up just to enjoy it.
It'll be tickets going for about $3,000 and all, see, because it'll sell out. That's the one thing I hope we get back together, then like, I'll probably not even get a ticket, fuck's sake.
If you've not got the pre-sale link, then you're just no
if you
chance.
don't get the pre-sale, man, you're getting a fucking luminous jacket and you're sneaking in it. It'll be a good TikTok video anyway, you know what I mean?
You can get the wee hill up the back of Hampden, man, and just watch it for there. Like.
Oh really? Is there a hill up there?
Like the overlooking Hampden, man, but you'll probably not see the gig, like, but
you hear it, but
that'll be the close you can hear it.
And just imagine it. Get a fucking AI gig or something like that. I want to go.
Aye.
So when did you actually start writing tunes? How long have you actually been doing it for?
So this current project, PG Ciarletta, this will be since 2020.
So 2020. So is that 3 years?
Aye. So this is the third year I've been there.
Right. So see, since you started writing till now, how has your technique developed? What is as you say, you get certain ideas and that kind of thing. Do you have like a method to writing songs, or do you just kind of pick up the guitar, then something will come out?
Aye. So two instruments for me. So I typically my strongest instrument's the acoustic guitar.
Right.
So I'll start on the acoustic guitar. I've been teaching myself keys and that, just to help songwriting in general. It's good being on the keys. Once you pick a key, you've obviously got a scale, and you've got loads of. There's only so many things you can do. You know what I mean? So the keys are pretty efficient.
You talk about like piano or keyboard?
Like piano or keyboard. But no, typically I'd start just on the acoustic guitar. So if I went back to 2020, how would I write? I would just rattle a song out just like in an hour, and that would be it. Like, this is the song, we're going for it. But now it's changed. It totally does change over time. Now it's like, and a good example is the Lewis Capaldi documentary. You'll see on that. So again, he starts with either the keys or a guitar, and he'll get an idea. It'll not be a complete song. He'll just get, a verse and a pre-chorus, or a verse up to probably you'd put a template chorus, and then from there it's kind of where you want to go. You can either go self-releasing, or you can then start working with different people like co-writers and stuff. What I do now is, and kind of what I've realised is, it does take music, like making music does take time, and every time you release you want to get the full potential out of it. And to do that, you've just kind of got to build your network of people around you, people you trust. And then what I do now is I'll just get different sorts of ideas. I'll go for there, and then I'll go and work with different people. And then when I go and work with like co-writers and producers and stuff, that's when I'll really just, I'll have this idea. Let's get the best melody for, say, the chorus, for the hook. Make sure they're right, because at the end of the day, that's like the most powerful bit of the whole song.
That's what catches people.
So I've kind of got a mix of that, and then obviously my verses are kind of what's no changed and what's kind of same. Like, my verses are very storytelling, so that's kind of that's really been consistent throughout. So it is interesting, like your perceptions and stuff change. And just like when I go back to 2020, when I started releasing, I didn't really know anybody, you know what I mean? That's all I knew at the time. Whereas now, for me, I'm always keen to just travel about, whether it's in Scotland, down in England, further afield. I've not had the chance to go overseas and that yet, but it's just to learn, see different perceptions, learn of different people. If you get a chance to go and work with some of your heroes of the past, you take it in a heartbeat. If you get a chance to go and work with the songwriters that are out there, then you take it, because there's so much you can learn, and it just kind of changes your output over time.
100%, because as well as like writing songs, see, I use myself as an example, because I like writing songs just for the sake of writing them. As I say, I'm in a band and that, man, but it's one of the things I still do that, well, if I did a podcast, for instance, I'm like, I can make that into a job eventually. Other things, I'm building a platform. That I just do it for the love of doing it. And but for me personally, see, I started putting my stuff out online, and see, when you put it out online, I don't know, if maybe you get a wee bit of traction with it and people like it, then when you start writing again, do you feel as if, when you've been given like that kind of applause by people, do you feel as if your intentions for writing starts becoming about the audience rather than about yourself?
To be honest, it could be a mix. Like, if I go on the TikTok side of things, like my biggest traction has been doing covers. So that was doing like Flower of Scotland, with the castle in the background, or Loch Lomond with Hampden in the background, or DG Bad Boy sitting on the bench up the West End.
I love the variety. Sums up Scottish culture in 2 songs.
Well, then that one just went fucking viral. I mean, looking at the first half an hour of that video going up, and I was like, oh no, I'm in trouble here. Like, I'm going to get pelters. I did get pelters, but no, it's kind of tailoring it to suit your audience. So at the end of the day, if it's not for the people, you'll never make it. You know what I mean? You'll never get to where you want to go. The people have to be part of the journey. So it's a team game. So you will have your passions and you'll know where you want to go, but you have to kind of listen to what your audience and your people are telling you as well, and you work together.
So did that first thought occur when you started posting on TikTok, or did you think of this before, or was it always initially about the audience had to play a part in your writing?
Yeah, kind of mixed. To be honest, I seen TikTok and I realised like how powerful TikTok is. Like, you as an artist, you're trying to get your messages out there, you're trying to get your music out there, you're trying to get yourself out there. And TikTok is one of the most powerful platforms in the world or the most powerful platform. In the world
definitely. The algorithm's fucking insane.
So it's just all the sort of the positives from that. But yeah, I've been kind of consistent along all the different platforms. I've been lucky enough, kind of going on the lives and stuff. You do get to meet a lot of your sort of the people that are following you, the people that you do meet along the way as well. So yeah, for me, they will give you a lot of sort of feedback and they'll react in certain ways to your songs. So it kind of gives you the main thing for me is more when you get the nice messages and you get people like giving you a bit of positivity back. It does give you a boost. You know what I mean? It does give you a boost. It does positively impact you, and then you can go away and start writing again. And then plus you know what the people are wanting, what the audience are wanting as well, so it kind of shapes your direction where you're going.
100%, because see if you look back to like even 10-15 years ago when like artists like singer-songwriters were first performing, you would only really get audience feedback if you went to a gig, played at a gig, and it would be maybe a small number of people. And how often do you get people feeding you back about your tunes at a gig? Like a couple, depending how big the crowd is. But whereas we've got TikTok, Facebook and all that kind of stuff, people can message you at any time of the day. People can find your videos that you might have not posted in 2 weeks, but people can be messaging you about a video you posted a month ago. So it's like your stuff is always available there, so people can watch you any time of the day.
I think it's in this day and age it's a real mix. So you've still got to build your physical footprint. You still have to go out and play live.
No, 100%.
What I do is like when I play live, I just make sure at the end I'll go out there, I'll stick around, I'll go and speak to people. You go and meet people. People come up and speak to you, and from there you'll kind of hear what their kind of thoughts are as well, and then you'll just generally get to meet people and have a bit of laugh with them, which is the main thing. And then obviously social media. Consistent, man. I just wake up to messages and that all the time. Positive ones, negative ones.
Stuff, man. You still get the odd negative ones, man. But
I get so if I go on live, I get somebody that like comments all the time. The amount of times I've been called like Tommy Fury half wish, or I've got the same barber as Kim Jong Un. That's it every week. I get that every week, man. But but at the end of the day, it seems to be part and parcel. When you put yourself out there and you get a video which goes up with popularity, you're going to get 99% of folk being positive, and you're still going to get that wee element as well. It
swings and roundabouts, innit? It comes with the game. See, how did you end up posting TikTok? When did you start actually? Was it TikTok the very first thing you started posting your videos on?
No, so it would have been Twitter. I started when I sort of came back. It was Twitter. I kicked off on the Twitter, and obviously the usual ones are Facebook, Twitter. At that point in time, Twitter was really powerful. The reach, obviously, Twitter, like Elon Musk, and that's taken over it. And who knows? Everybody's getting their badges taken off them and that. But like for now, like the reach on Twitter just seems to like it's not the same. But back then, Twitter was really, really powerful. That was kind of the one. So it was more Twitter, Facebook, and then. But in this right now, I would say Instagram Reels, TikTok, that's where it's at now. So I've kind of changed over time, and you have to change, you have to adapt with what goes on. But like now, it's like 5 platforms, you know what I mean? Like Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and then obviously your own website and stuff like that as well.
Have you got your own website?
I've got my own website.
Is that for so people can book you and that kind of thing?
Just a mixture of things. So you've got that there. It's got your details, all the links to all your socials. Folk can come in there and put in like contact you, bookings and stuff like that. What else? And then there's like a mailing list as well, so your kind of followers or people can sign up to your mailing list, and that's where you can get like all the news slightly before it comes out in all the public forums.
I see.
So you've got that as well. So there's kind of like over time you've got like 5-6, you know what I mean, growing numbers of social media platforms that you need to kind of run with.
It's busy, man. It's a busy life, man. That's how people need fucking managers at the start. You need to self-manage and see all the social medias and that. See, because I do so many different things as well. Sometimes I'm like, mate, there could be two of me and I'd still be fucking busy. It can be quite hectic, but same thing as well. That's what separates the 5% from the 95%, because the 95% of people would be like, fuck this, I'm not doing that. And then the old school way, and as you say, you need to adapt.
There's my CD.
That's my CD. Who the fuck got a CD player? Motors, I mean, get CD players these days, man. You know what I mean? So it's adapting with the times, and plus as well, as I go back like 10 years ago, man, it was probably about 10 years ago, mate. See, if you wanted to get your music out there, man, you'd be touring up and down the country, busting your cunt in. People still do it, but no, you can just record a video playing a tune and it can reach the same people it would take you a month to reach if you were lucky on the road. It's just mental. We've actually got it at our fingertips now. You don't really need to... The potential of being spotted by an audience is much greater than it was like a decade ago.
100%. You can still get people that turn up to your shows and that, and they'll watch you live. And a lot of times I think folk will kind of assess that. You know what I mean? They'll come and see live. But in this day and age, you're right, man. You can post a reel, post a TikTok, 5 million views, and then, like, everybody knows who you are. You know what I mean?
I know. You can cheat. You can cheat these days, man. But see, you can't beat a live gig, man, because it's one thing. Because there's some people. You get like recording artists, people just record tons of tunes, never release anything. And a releasing artist, people just release shit but never perform. For me, I think I'm just old school, you're probably the same. It's like going to a gig, like actually I've got a gig today, getting set up, man, get that nervous energy, you're getting in, it's a fucking pub, you've got people that come to see you, you've got some cunts that have never fucking heard of you, but they're just there, they're all mad with it, and then once you get up and you do your thing, man, you cannot beat it, man. There's a fucking no drug that can compare to it.
100%. Just the sort of buzz being on stage, and even for me as well, I just like going and watching gigs and that as well. At the amount of times through here, so many, like Glasgow's got a great scene, so many venues. Not even like stuff at the Hydro and that, man. I go and watch stuff that's in like the 100 to 300, 500 cap venues. There's always kind of nice and good to see folk as well when you get the chance to see folk up close when they're coming through before they hit the big time, and then they're just on the big massive 50,000 sell at Hampden and stuff like that.
You're buying your tickets off fucking touts for fucking 200 quid extra, man.
Your more can't even get in, but that's where it all comes together. Like, releasing music's great, social media's great, but when everybody comes together, puts on a show, everybody has a fucking great night. That's the main thing. Great night, everybody loves it. Everybody's happy. Everybody goes home safe. And then we fucking do it all over again, man. That's it.
100%. And you see, I'm with you. See, with the smaller gigs, like even the fucking 100 capacity places. There was a few years ago, me and all my pals. I don't drink anymore, but we used to drink a fair bit. And we'd go up to the tune, we'd go to like the old hairdressers or broadcast or places like that. Small venues, but you'd go and see cunts you'd never heard in your life. But you'd go and see somebody, but fuck's sake, they're actually decent. You would discover people, and it's like, if you look at all these big bands that are playing like the Hydros and all that kind of stuff, these big artists, you're familiar with their discography, you know what I mean? You know their songs, you know the big ones, but you go to these small places and you hear cunts like, they're doing something. Sometimes you get ideas, that's a wee idea there, I wonder why he's doing that. And then you get into these different bands, and it is great, and it's, as you say, it's the undiscovered new rising stars that you go and see. Are you sick of that decrepit old dust collecting, beetle crushing, disgusting dirt dump you call a carpet? Ugh. Does your flooring look like a sumo wrestler's been doing the Gangnam style? No filling these potholes. Are you scunnered with the skirting? Does your floorboards need a jacket? Then I've got just the thing for you. HFM Flooring are the grand masters at caressing the underside of your soles with the finest, most plushest fabrics ever to grace the market. They fit carpets so soft you'll soak into it like Ewan McGregor in that scene for Trainspotting. They also do laminate flooring that will restore the style back beneath your feet. Boosh! They also provide LVT and vinyl flooring, which is waterproof, slip resistant, and suitable for use with underfloor heating. And if you're somebody that likes to kick back in the garden but you're allergic to cutting grass, you blame the hay fever. HFM Flooring also installs premium artificial grass, which is easily installed, fade resistant, UV protected, has inbuilt drainage to flush out any water, and is pet friendly. All measures and estimates are free. That's right, free. And if you use promo code 50, you'll get 5% off. HFM Flooring is located at Unit 5, 219 Govan Road, Glasgow, G512HJ. You can contact them directly by telephone on 0141 239 9123, or you can check out their website www.hfmcarpetsandflooring.co.uk, or you can message them directly via social media on either Facebook or Instagram at HFM Carpet Flooring. HFM will fit the flooring that your feet will be adoring. Do you remember your first gig?
Aye, I do.
How was
man.
it? How was your nerves? You shouting yourself?
Oh, I was fucking bricking it, man. I mean,
Where is
it? So my first, so I played two. My first ever. So on this project, my first ever gig was down in a place called Widnes, like this all-day event. But
Widnes?
Aye, Widnes.
That's fucking miles
so
away,
it was like,
isn't it?
aye, it was like down Merseyside, man.
How the fuck did you end up doing there?
Just again, it was for Twitter, man. It was the reach of Twitter.
Right,
So I ended up in this big community on Twitter with just folks sharing like basically new music.
Right.
And then for there, build a big network, and you end up getting an invite to go down there. So that was great, man. It was a big day. It was pretty mental, to be honest. In Scotland, my first one was at King Tut's. I supported a guy called Andrew Cushion.
I follow him.
But aye, what a voice, great guy. So even my dad's kind of like, I think my dad's more of a fan of him than he is of me, to be honest. But
really?
when we played with him, but fuck me, great voice, some great songs. But I do remember that night. So at that point in time, now I play like I do a whole range of shows now. I'll play with. So I've got a band that play with me as well.
Oh, do you?
Still do a lot of sort of just kind of solo acoustic stuff, acoustic gigs as well. Really enjoy them, different styles of performances. But that night, I just kind of remember being there. You know, I was kind of just like 30 minutes of it going on, just being like fuck, like in the King Tut's green room, but like I'm fucking in King Tut's. What am I doing here? Total shite myself. But then like went on, great night. It was a good crowd, but it's just mad back then because my whole perception had changed. Like I was like in football terms back then, I was trying to like get the ball and play like fucking 45-yard passes like for one side, get it back and volley it in the top corner. Or kind of all you needed to do was just get it and play a 5-yard pass and just move up the park. You know what I mean? It was kind of like I was going there. I had loop pedals, I had fucking kick pedals, I had electric guitar, and I was going for it. But the thing is, I taught myself, so I can still use the loop pedal. I don't use it now, but I can still use it. And back then, I mean, I was just going for it on stage, just like, but like time-wise, man, it'd be taking so much time. It would take like 3-4 minutes to get the loop going. And I was still mind one boy at the front, he was just like total blown away, being like, fucking hell, you saw that? Like, total just looping his wee riff and that. But so I was going for everything. I was just probably trying to be too fancy. And then now, it's totally changed now. Now it's perception. It's just like going, play the guitar, still got the kick pedal if I play my own. Play the guitar, get your voice across. You know what I mean? Over time, your voice and that gets better. So for me, it's like, you know, pick your, you know what your strengths are, go with it, and then sometimes it's just like, didn't make it too complex. You know what I mean? Back then it was kind of overcomplicating it, just try to be too fancy when you didn't really need to do that. Just understand what works, your strengths are, and just fucking go with it. And that's the challenge when you start out, is you kind of you need to understand what your sound is, but what your context are, like who you are, what do you actually stand for, and like how you're going to perform, how you're going to come across. So you've kind of got to storm that for a bit of time till you actually understand it, and then, you know what I mean, go for it for there. So that was it. When going back then, it was kind of scary, a lot of nervous energy, totally different perception of how I would perform now. But you learn every day, you know what I mean? Learn every day, and like kind of day one, your first performance, you're never going to be ready for like your max potential. You have to develop that over time.
That's a process.
Aye, 100% process from start to finish. And like hopefully one day you can look back and go, fuck me, like I remember playing in this venue in front of 100 folk, but that's definitely, those are the days, those are the gigs that actually gave me the character and kind of gave me the chance to develop and become the performer that I am. So
aye, because you always remember your earliest gigs, because as you say, you get in, you're telling that story there, it's so vivid a memory. You've probably played many gigs that you've forgotten about, because you get comfortable and it's like, it becomes, you're just going through the motions. It's the early gigs, you always remember your first gig because you're like, what the fuck, you're finally there. Because when you're writing, me personally, you're probably the same, you pick up a guitar, I think everybody's mind gets transported to playing. At some point, playing a gig in front of people, you're thinking a big room full of cunts stadiums, you're fucking, every cunt's loving it. But when you do your first gig, it's a much more tense affair for everybody, because you're getting up and you're looking at cunts like that, right? And it's all mad, these random cunts are looking at you, right, what's this cunt going to play? And as you say, when I done my first gig, it was so simple, it could have been stupid. It was just a guitar. You're going up with fucking loop pedals and fucking all that shit, because it's bad enough being nervous and that, but you're getting up ready to do your fucking driving test and play a gig at the same time,
like
man.
Tap dancing at the same time. You're like, if this goes wrong, I'm fucked. We need to start again. But
I know.
But I seen it like probably months after that. I went to, I seen Katie Tunstall, and she done like an intimate gig,
right? And
she done the kick pedal, man. But it was like levels that I've never seen before, like the fucking kick and like percussioning off like the guitar and stuff like that, and then looping it back into the system. And I'm like, fuck me, you know what I mean? That's in front of like 300, 400 folk, just totally relaxed, just going for it. And the thing is, like when you watch folk do it, they actually fuck up. But when they fuck up, they just go it. You know what I mean? And the crowd loves it because you're so relaxed. And if you just come across as relaxed, then you know what I mean, it feeds off everybody else.
You roll with the punches as well. And I think obviously experience plays a big part, because if we're using Katie Tunstall as an example, the amount of gigs she's played, she definitely fucked up a few times. You're going to fuck up more than you don't. But it's if you fuck up and then you let it derail your momentum, and then that's when it gets noticed, because it ends up becoming a car crash. But if you fuck up and you just roll with it, you just go with it, sometimes you can turn the fuck up into... That's exactly it, man. Not a moon, fuck's sake. The two fucking lead singers and that were fuck ups. But it's like, I remember this video, it's like fucking... They all seen that video, it's like the DJ, it was like a fucking video on Facebook, and it's like a DJ, and see, even you've got an aux cable plugged in, but it's no fully plugged in, it makes like that mad sound. It's like mad, but as if it's connecting, but the cunt, it's like he was playing, I think it was a room full of his pals, like, what the fuck, and then he turned it into a beat. It was fucking crazy, and I was just like, that is a pure great example of that, like how able to fucking turn the fuck up into something amazing.
That's the beauty of live, like social media, like unless you're on a live, if you're recording a video, you know, there's obviously a bit of prep and practice, and you'll be rehearsing your lines, and you'll be like doing it until you get it spot on. Well, that's the beauty of live, is just like you're going to get moments where you either just improvise on the spot, or you just something happens and you just have to go with it, and then it becomes like the highlight of the show. You know what I mean?
You never forget it, I know, and sometimes you can have, is it a happy accident or something, where something happens accidentally, you're like, fuck, but then you're like, wait, that worked. I would have never have done that, but somehow by accident this is what do it, and then you maybe stick with it. Has anything like that ever happened for you?
Definitely. Yeah, so I went back last December, done to see my first headline in Glasgow Poetry Club. Fortunate enough it sold out. But again, right at the end we kind of do just this round off. Right. Just round off the show, and you kind of have a big freestyle and stuff like that. And I think that time I just got the guitar, because usually I'll be playing the guitar at that point, I just fucking got the guitar off. Just kind of going about, getting the crowd going. But like stuff like that, usually like if I was in a rehearsal room, you'd just be playing a guitar and you'd just be going word for word, just like blah 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 blah, such and such. You'd have like a spiel written off. But that night I was like, nah, fuck it. You know what I mean? We're going for it.
And did it work?
Aye, totally worked, man. Because then you're just at the end, it's like, the thing is, at the end of the sesh, right, it goes, your mate's comatose. Obviously, your mate's had too much to drink, and they're just fucking, you know, on the couch and that. Doesn't wake up till like Sunday at like 4 in the morning or whatever. But maybe 4 in the afternoon. But but that, man, so you repeat it 3 times, and then the crowd just goes for it every single time, man. It's fucking funny as fuck. And then even just like the wee moments where when you stop, like you always kind of see bands and artists, they'll do one track where they'll totally strip it back and they'll just get an acoustic guitar, they'll just get the piano and they'll sing, and there'll just be wee moments where the crowd will go for it. So you'll just stop and the crowd just starts singing.
The crowd carries it.
Magic, the crowd just carries it and just totally sings. Like just wee moments like that, you kind of over time you can kind of pick up like what can you do in certain songs, what moments can you improvise. But I think that's all part of the fun, man. It keeps it interesting. That's
exactly it, because you try shit and it won't work, and you try shit and you're like, that fucking works, and you go, right, do that next time, and before you know it, it becomes part of your show, because that's what they do to talk about building a show. When you're actually doing it, it's a live show. It's like people are coming to see something they can't get online, they can't get listen to your streaming fucking singles or anything like that. It's something you need to go to the live show to get. But see, when you talk about like when you started your first gig, you need to be gigging in order to find yourself, or to find out what you stand for as an artist. So have you found that?
Aye, 100%. 100%.
So what would that be?
So I think when we look at my music, it is really So again, you can compare it to a lot of the sort of influences and that, like. So kind of like my music and the project stand for is it's kind of, I would say, inner city folk tales, other narratives. So it's just all based on life, right?
Mm-hmm. Life in Fife.
Life in Fife, life in Scotland, life, just everything we go through. But again, that's very transferable across the whole of the UK and the rest of the world. So that's really, it's got an element of that. But like my songs, when they're at their best, is when they're real life, they're relatable, but they're upbeat. Good tempo, give rhythm. The chorus is kind of like Oasis. Every Oasis song is like, you put their song in fucking any pub in the UK, man, people have got their arms wide, pints are in the air.
Aye.
Everybody's together, everybody's chanting. So that's really, I like that. Big anthemic chanting choruses, great catchy hooks. So that's the sort of element there. So it's kind of really about being real life, but being optimistic, being positive, being upbeat, and then like if I then contrast it to what happens at a live show, you know, I just want to see people come, have a great time, get a buzz, go home happy, and then we do it all over again, just bigger next time.
Aye, that's it, mate, up the ante. That's the thing as well, because we talk about like music, like bringing back memories and that kind of thing. The live show's another thing. You want to create memories for people. That's what it is. You're creating your own memories as well as other people's. So people will always remember it. Like, fuck, it was fucking brilliant. Or and it's like what we were just talking about there. Like if you go and see a smaller band and you'll hear something like, fuck, these cunts are good. Whereas you wouldn't have known about this person unless you went to this gig as such. We must interrupt this podcast for a breaking announcement. There has been numerous reports in the area of a beauty bomb ready to glow up. And it's going to blow away you beauty therapists one appointment at a time. Why? Do you conduct business correspondence with clients via DMs? Are you sick of late cancellations costing you money? Do you just wish you could provide your service without worrying if the client has the cash at hand? Oh, I need to go to the bank. Well, I have a solution to your confusion. Glow Out is a service that aims to alleviate the stress involved between a client and the technician booking their appointments. Glow Out makes it easy for clients to see appointments, to book them and to pay. It takes deposits and it gets late cancellation fees, which means you won't lose out on any money. Clients can pay by card or using Apple Pay. Glow Out is also partnered with payment processor Stripe. Glow Out also helps you manage your bookings easily by using your calendar. The busier you get, the more stressful it is to keep track of who you've actually got coming in and when. Glow Out will help you do that. On Glow Out, you'll also be able to show off your portfolio, showing off your previous work so clients can check out what you've done in the past. It will also be implementing a feature in the very, very near to be future which will connect to your Instagram profile page. You will also be featured on the Glow Out website. You'll be visible to potential clients in the local area. You'll also have access to your own admin panel where you can see your account balance, generate reports, and turn your hobby into a business. Glow Out is basically a Just Eat for beauty appointments. Can't beat the convenience, can you? The mobile app for iOS and Android is coming soon. But in the meantime, for $5.99 a month, you will have access to all these features. But if you sign up using 50 promo code, you will get the first 3 months free. You can't whack that for a bargain, can you? Give your business the glow up. It needs to blow up. And glow up before you glow out. So see when you say you're writing songs and you want it to be transferable to people outside of where you stay and that kind of thing, do you make a point of not being too detailed in like maybe your lyricism and that kind of thing, where to a point that people would only know you're talking about like your town? Or do you make it to a point where it could be about anywhere?
It's kind of Scottish, man. I'd say it is like I still drop in words like the session, the words gadget, you know what I mean?
Oh,
so it's kind of from the sesh to like the stuff I'm writing now. It's kind of went from gadget and being a bit more commercialised to use the word clown, you know what I mean?
And clown's multicultural in it.
So it's like, so the words are still pretty Scottish, but people do kind of interpret and understand. Like people, like at the moment being Scottish in the music scene and stuff is quite universal. Well, some of the artists and that, how well they're doing. So people are picking up and they're understanding the words. But I think it works right now. Don't like you'll see some people and you'll get told to like kind of drop the accent and didn't sing like that and all that sort of stuff. People. But what works right now is how many people are singing in Irish accents, Liverpool accents, Liverpudlian accents, Manchester accents, Birmingham accents, Scottish accents, and it's working. It kind of gives you a bit of a differentiator. and it kind of keeps it real. So yeah, my lyrics will still not to the extreme at the start when it was like Gadget and
Gadget's a fucking dodgy man. Like
drinking away with
Gadget. Only so many
Gadgets.
things you can rhyme with Gadget, you know what I mean?
I think it was drinking away with Gadgets. They're just out the jail, remand, not bail. You know what I mean? That was a big line of the sesh.
That's a fucking standard night out in Scotland, mate. I can attest to that.
What was like that, but now like there'd still be Scottish words. Just I know to the extremes of that, but you've got to keep like that. To me, that's part of what kind of works is that we kind of Scottishness in it.
Because it makes it unique. Because if you look at the rest of the world, how many? If let's say, use an example, you were singing an American accent. You get the full of fucking America doing that anyway. Then everybody else doing that. Like think of that fucking pool. Then you think of an English accent. No as big, but still big. Scottish, but small, niche. That's what makes you stand out, man. It makes it brings a uniqueness, and plus as well, if you want to use an example of somebody fucking being successful singing in a Scottish accent, then Jerry Cinnamon singing with fucking Hamden.
100%. And even like you look at the song like Diamonds in the Mud, belter a song. But like even the lyrics in that, man, it's so Scottish.
Aye.
But it's life in Glasgow. You know what I mean? That is what the song is. But I think that's one of the live ones they released in the last couple of weeks. But aye, that kind of proved, like from the Scottish example, but then even go further back in time, it was like The View were another great example. Well, if you listen to a lot of their lyrics, or the Courteeners down in Manchester, like their lyrics are, it's inner city folk tales. You know what I mean? It's your life in your area. Jamie Webster's probably a good example from like Liverpool right now. But that's it. It's just it kind of proves that what we experience in this area up here is what people will experience down in Manchester, Liverpool, Nottingham, London, Bristol.
Aye, because it needs somebody like shouting out for your city and that, because like, as much as I like Oasis and that, love them, and but when you hear about somebody, they're talking about their own town and it's kind of it's great and you're like but it's just because Scottish is so niche in itself. Being Scottish, like we can compare ourselves to England, but we're different. We just are. They're just the way the colloquialisms we use, the words we use, and it's the way we describe things. The first time I heard somebody singing about Scottishness, singing like in Scottish accents, and I thought, fuck, you can actually do that, was Las Vegas.
Aye.
So see the song Go Square Go, it was like Go Square Go, here we
somebody wants to fight you outside the school gates.
Aye, forget your dad, he's gone, all that shit, and I'm like, oh my god, because I've been writing tunes for about a year, 2 years up to that point, but I kind of done it in an American accent, and I was writing like stuff I'd heard, but I was like, that way I was just writing, and then when I heard that, I was like, fuck, you can actually write about this and it can sound good.
Aye.
And it just totally changed the way I've done tunes, and now I wouldn't change it for the world that way. And it's just, even if it fucking my stuff doesn't fucking get received by any cunt for the rest of the time of day, I'm still doing it because I just like doing that thing, man. But it's unique in itself. I've been unique.
I think the main thing for me, like music for me, is just if it's a great melody, you know what I mean, the world's your oyster. You can go you can more or less make it a dance tune, an indie tune, folk tune, heavy rock tune. You know what I mean? There's just so many options from there. And like the Las Vegas stuff's just great examples. Daddy's Gone, great song. Geraldine the Social Worker, fucking great song. Go Square Go, but Go Square Go is like how many times were you at primary school and stuff like that, and somebody would actually be waiting for you outside the school gates?
I know.
You know what I mean? Like, instantly you hear that line and you're just like, I'm going to listen to this. That reminds me of that time.
But when it comes in at the Here We Fucking Go then, because every gig you go to, it's a Scottish thing. Even I've met artists that's performed in Scotland and they always go, Scotland, they always shout Here We Fucking Go then. I was like, that's just a Scottish thing, because they don't fucking date in fucking Brazil or America shout Here We Fucking Go. It's just a pure Scottish thing. But any gig, you can go to a gig with fucking 2 people in a pub to fucking 60,000 or whatever in the fucking Hydro, but cunts are gonna be shouting Here We Fucking Go.
Oh aye.
But the fact some got put it in there, so I don't know how it's not happened there, because it's like, I mean, it's as much a part of Scottish culture as fucking the Saltire. It is as indoctrinated. It's the fucking best thing ever. When every cunt starts getting behind and starts shouting, you know what I mean? So see, when you get a band together, is that you get a band now?
Aye.
How did you end up recruiting your band members?
Just like a lot of times for me, music is you just strike up connections as you go. Like, so the guitar player, a boy called Connor, great guitarist. Literally when I played in the pubs, I had to go and buy my own PA system and stuff like that. So he sold me the PA system.
Oh, I see.
For that back then. So I knew him from there. And again, I think just kind of kind of just it was the timing. A lot of it's just life, man. A lot of things is timing. Like,
Aye.
like obviously this project was building, and then kind of like an opportunity opened up. The timing was right. He joined his best mate. There's a drummer, Yogi, great drummer. So they
Love his name.
two came. It was kind of like a straight partnership. And then the bass player. See, the thing is with I think being a bass player, no disrespect to bass players, but playing the bass guitar for some reason seems to be like going in goals at fives. You know what I mean? Like everybody.
I just take the bass, mate.
But like, which
Take
is
the bass and don't speak.
which is mad, because there's some, like, again, like, you look at Blink-182 and stuff like that. There's like a lot of great bands around the world where the bass player is fucking cool as fuck and a key part of it. But it's always the hardest piece of the puzzle is finding a bass player. So I just, again, that was just kind of going about and gigging and meeting people in gigs and that. And then I found a boy, Kieran, again, great musician. So the three of them mixed up, great chemistry, and then that's it. That's been going since. I think that was the end of 2021. They sort of came together.
Is that still together?
Aye, still playing. So yeah, great. I think when you hit the big festivals and you hit headline shows, you know, people are coming to see. They want to see the what's in that recording, what you're recording. People want to see that. You know what I mean? They want the full show. So like it is key, like over time, that you do scale it up. Mm-hmm. And when you know people are wanting the headline shows and are wanting X, Y, and Z, you're able to give it the big one. Aye. And it kind of grows over time. So that's what I've got to now. There's certain other instruments in the songs, violins and keys and stuff like that. But as it builds, more and more people kind of get on board. Like if you look at Sam Fender, man, he's on stage with like so many people.
Cunts, man. He's got a full band squad behind him. Cunts with fucking saxophones and all that. But it's banging.
Aye.
I mean, I love a good saxophone and all, man. That's the one thing I'm trying. Walking about the tune like, who's playing that fucking saxophone, man? I need that.
And it's like his neighbour that he's just knowing all his days. You know what I mean? Like,
aye. It's because see in my band as well. See the bass player, my pal Mick. He's fucking a great bass player. Know what I mean? So I feel bad saying that about. Because you do get bass players like cunts. A lot of cunts in a band, they're like, right, you play the bass and you're just boom, 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 but you're just playing single notes. But he actually messaged me. I had the same kind of scenario as you, where I always wanted to be in a band, and I think everybody that picks up a guitar does dream of being in a band at some stage. But it was weird. It wasn't. I would have at the point I went and played a gig. Once it was away out in fucking Edinburgh, right next to the airport, a pure random gig, and a guy came up to us. He's like, mate, if you're looking for a drummer, give us a shout.
Aye. And
then this guy, Mick, I ended up palling. He watched my stuff. He just sent me a video playing the bass. He's like, if you're looking for a bass player, give us a shout. It's happened like in the same week.
Aye.
I'm like, what the fuck? And then I had a pal, Patterson. He plays. When I first started, ended up palling with this group that were in a band years ago. He was the lead guitarist. So I ended up saying to him, jump along, we'll get a rehearsal, man. We'll fucking get a jam. So now we're in a band, which is great. And then I'm just like, yes, I'm in a fucking band now. You know what I mean? And plus as well, as you say, it does help scale it up. Like when you want to go and play festivals and bigger gigs, because your bands are more likely to get hired to play these kind of slots, because it's good if you're an established singer-songwriter that's maybe got the setup with the loop pedal, the kicks and all that, man, but with just doing a guitar, there's only so far you can go in terms of playing live, or people are kind of look for that kind of big band sound.
Yeah, 100%. I think it gets to a point where you just try to run past the whole team yourself, you know what I mean? It's like, even on stage like you're banding that as well, it's a team game. Like everybody's got a role to play, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's like getting that chemistry, and it gets to a point, when it gets to certain levels, like that's what people want. They want the full.
Aye.
You know what I mean? That's because there's only so like, and you will get, like for me, my style of songs, they still can be played acoustically. And if I look at like people, like I look up to people I know in that now, is like Kyle Falconer from The View's a good example. Like he'll still go about and he'll do acoustic shows because the songs are that good that they can be played acoustically. So you'll have two style of shows. Well, people will come out just for the acoustic sing along, but then they'll also come out for like the full shebang, you know what I mean?
That big band energy.
Aye, where everybody's jumping about going fucking mental.
Aye, because it provides two dynamics. Because see, if you use Noel Gallagher as an example, see when you see some shows, it was mostly when Liam fucking ended up mad with the night before and patched the gig, he'd end up playing the acoustic. But when you hear it acoustic, I don't know if it's maybe because you can hear the words a lot clearer, or because it's stripped back, it becomes more emotional. It's more heartfelt, whereas when it's the full band, it's more energetic. It's more getting mad with music. Whereas if you're it's pure tugging at the heartstrings, and when you hear just the songwriter, if it's the person that's wrote it singing with the guitar, it provides that kind of that emotional side of things, man.
It's just totally like differently. When you've got a band or a kind of squad there with you, I mean, there's more people to kind of amplify the sound, get the crowd going. But when you're on your own, like you've got to, you know what I mean, you've got to do different things. You just said there using your voice, like Dead in the Water, great song.
Oh, amazing song.
That song when like you see when he sings that again, it's about the lyrics, it's about the emotions, it's about that side of the performance. But I feel when you do it, when you're just on your own acoustically and you're on that stage yourself, it's like you got to use your voice, got to use your lyrics, you got to get that connection with the audience. But then you've also got to use your patter, you know what I mean? You've got to use your patter and kind of work the stage a wee bit, because when you have the band with you, then you've got that, you know what I mean, you've got more people making bigger sound, there's the rhythm's going, people are jumping up and down. But yeah, when it's totally different, when you're on your own, it's like you've just got to kind of play on different things.
It's like, we've used a football analogy, it's like playing in different positions in it, man. It's still the same game, because me just like being a singer-songwriter for all this time, I would overcompensate. I'd play the guitar a bit louder, I'd sing a bit louder, and I would sing a bit more forcefully when I'm trying to fucking get every note, know what I mean? But when I was recording with the band quite recently, the producer's like, listen, you don't need to shout, you don't need to sing as loud, you don't need to blast the guitar, you can strip it back, because you've got all this going on around you. And you learn as you're writing songs or as you're performing, there's two styles to it, because as well, if you're just blasting, singing, screaming with the band behind you, it's going to end up a fucking pure wall of noise. So see, when you're writing now, do you write differently before a band, because right, the band can fill in the gaps here, whereas before it was just yourself?
No, I've always kind of written in a way that I would obviously intend over time that I know that you would need, you know what I mean, a bass player and a guitarist and a drummer, just to get, there's obviously certain beats that would use hooky guitar riffs, and then obviously the bass going as well. So I knew like you would need that. So that sort of that remains consistent. I know how to kind of like, I always balance the way I write, just different sections. Every single section of a song has a different purpose to me, right? So that's where it kind of balances with the different arrangements and instrumentation coming in. But I'd always kind of written from day one, like all my songs were they were recorded in a way that, you would need over time a band kind of playing me as well.
Right, I see.
What I think is still consistent is just lyrics and acoustic guitar, that holds it all together, you know what I mean? But what's built around that, there would still always be that electric guitar sort of hooky riff, drums, and then bass as well. I could technically record in a way, if I went down the pure loop pedal route, I could have still recorded a wee hooky riff. I like the wee riffs where, it's a good guitar riff if the crowd's harmonising with the riff, you know what I mean? Kind of the da-da-da, you know what I mean? Like kind of like that. So I could have done that, acoustic guitar, and then a kick pedal, you know what I mean? That's kind of all it would be. But I just, again, when I look back at my favourite bands, I love Stone Roses, love Oasis, Cortinas, The View, like even like Paul Nutini's a singer-songwriter example, plays with a band, you know what I mean? Like that's what my love of music is. So that's kind of the way, like, how I've been influenced and the way I see like my stuff going forward as well.
Nah, totally. Because see, even the loop pedal stuff and all that, I don't know, fucking if you're neurodivergent or whatever, you get fucking ADHD, you can do all these things, man, but I think it would take something away. Don't get me wrong, Jerry Cinnamon carries it well, but with the band, you can focus on just doing your part, the guitar and the singing, and let the rest of it get filled in rather than going like, right, try to find that time. I'm sure over time you do develop that as a skill, but it does allow you to focus more on singing the words and playing the rhythm. So see, when you're returning to King Tut's, when is the date again?
14th, Friday the 14th of July. Friday
the
night.
14th, just a day off it being a dodgy day. But so see, now you're returning here, what kind of artist is it is returning here compared to the one that was there the first time?
So this is going to be the third time I played it. So it's King Tut Summer Nights, first time I've been a headliner on the bill. So if I compared it to when I first went there in 2021, I was me, acoustic guitar, electric guitar, swapping in between, loop pedaling like fucking mad, ripping the arse out the loop pedal, ripping the arse out the kick pedal, just constant here with fucking goes, you know what I mean? And in comparison to now, so I went for that to now, I've got the boys, so it's more like, I see the genre, it's singer-songwriter, bit indie rock, energetic, anthemic, so kind of, it's quite cool to kind of see it just like being that back then to see what it is now. and like how the sort of product and that's totally changed.
Totally, man,
And-
because
and
it's grown
kinda
arms and legs, isn't it?
Scaled up. So if people are coming to the show there, that's what it's going to be. It's going to be upbeat indie bangers. Everybody has a good fucking time. We get on it, and then we go home happy.
There we go,
That's
man. A very successful night, because the Summer Nights bill is a lot of decent artists in that playing it, and it's a run. I think it's a run over the period of July.
Aye, so 7 weeks, so it goes July into August. But when you look back in history, you know, King Tut's as a venue itself's got fucking steeps of history, Oasis and all that. You know what I mean? That link there. But Summer Nights, when you look back at Summer Nights, some of the names that have been bands and artists that have played in it, I've went on to like really really big things, and some have only been supports on it. You know what I mean? Some have been headliners, but generally, like who's been on that bill, it kind of showcases the best of what's coming through in Scotland. So it is. When I started out, that was always like a target. Like I wanted to be a part of that, and I wanted to play in it. So yeah, I'm grateful, and I can't wait for it.
So is this the first time you're performing as part of the Summer Nights bill?
Yeah, so I've never played Summer Nights before. I've played New Year's Revolution, kind of similar idea to Summer Nights, just takes place in January. So I've done that as one of the support acts. I supported a band called March Sharp the Bicycle Thieves. They supported Lewis Capaldi in Europe like a couple of months back. So that was New Year's Revolution, but now it's the first time I've played the Summer Nights.
Nah, brilliant,
So,
man.
Aye, Friday night.
Aye, on Friday night,
Easy
man,
bad
because
boy.
you've got a very good slot with that as well, man. Hoping to sell it out.
Aye, 100%. That's it. It's just push to get sold out, get it bouncing.
Get the
That's what it's
videos
all
done,
about.
get the TikToks done.
Aye, get the socials going.
Do you never do any like stuff for, let's see, because TikTok is a great thing. I see a lot of people, I've got pals and that are on TikTok, and they're fucking on the ball with videos, see, for content. Sometimes I need to let an idea hit me, I'll be dozing about, like, fuck, I could have done a video there. Do you ever plan to do like any, right, I'm going to try and make a video for this TikTok at this gig? Do you ever do anything like that?
Yeah, so like the last time I played, I had in my head, I was like, right, I need to capture this moment. You know what I mean? That, like, again, just experience of like what has worked in the past. Like we need to get this on video, and then as well, like I knew that I needed to get kind of two songs kind of videoed, but plus as well, you kind of want to capture at your shows the crowd having a great time. Crowd having a great time goes out in the socials, and you'll see that with the folk like your mates and that posting, because then folks see that and they identify and go, that looks like fucking banter, I'm going next time. You know what I mean? So again, how do I come up with that? It's just you see great examples. There's people over the socials that are great influences, great examples. You'll see that, and then you'll have people kind of in your networks and stuff being like, God, you should do that. You know what I mean? It's just sometimes it's just luck of the people that you've got around you coming up with the sort of great ideas and stuff like that. So I think this time, like, I do have like a plan. You'll see like there'll be a photographer and that, and there'll be like certain moments you want to get on the video, on the camera, and I just post them on the socials for everybody to see, because a lot of people, they want to see that. They want, like, I think people, they not just like, they'll get behind you for your music, but they want to learn a lot about you as well, and they want to see behind the scenes stuff, and they want to see a lot of stuff that they don't get to see by just buying a ticket. You know what I mean? So it's good to kind of capture those mashups of, like, here's the gig day, or here's my journey going down to the festival.
Vlogs
on a
and
ferry
shit.
and vlog. Like, people, they do love seeing that, and sometimes they just love seeing just a picture of you outside the gig with a pint going like this. You know what I mean?
Humanises you, man. Like, he's one of us. He's a wreckhead, Liz.
He's one of us. I can go for a pint with him. Fucking good guy. You know what I mean? That stuff. So
it establishes that relatability as well, because it's one thing you see somebody on the stage, but you're an artist on a stage. It's an act. It is an act to a degree. To some, not. I mean, you're obviously being yourself, but you're performing. You're in a professional capacity, but to see the human side of people and all, that's what we always look for. Because first, if you meet if I met fucking Liam Gallagher, first thing cunts are going to say, what was he like? You know what I mean? They're going to want to know, even if they fucking watched every fucking interview, every gig, they're always going to want to know, what's the real person like? And it's quite different, man. And fucking usually you're disappointed. Never meet your heroes, as they say. So what do you hope to achieve in your music career?
So it was interesting. So when I first started out, right, I put there was like an interview in the local press, and I was like the end goal man, sold out Hampden Park, right? I was like, I fucking sold out Hampden Park. I've been lucky enough. I got really lucky, kind of on the like TikTok social media front. I ended up getting invited to play at Murrayfield, so I've played on the pitch and on the roof of Murrayfield Stadium.
Really? What was that for?
Before one of the rugby games.
Right. Was it to the full stadium?
So I think the attendance that day was something like 57,000.
Oh,
Remember that? So it was fucking mental. Because like before that, I played in Sneaky Pete's Club in Edinburgh, which is like a poetry club, man. It's like a 100 venue. So you go for that to like sound check, and then you're in Murrayfield Stadium, you're like in the north stand and the south stand and the west stand, just being like, how the fuck have I got myself here? So that was pretty special. Like, I always wanted to play in a stadium. Like, obviously my end goal now is to do that as your own show. I know I've got a long way to go to do that, but you know, that's me being very ambitious and having dreams, man. I want to play the biggest festivals in the world. I want to sell it. You know, Hampden's like spiritual for me, man. That'd be it. But realistically, as a person, you know, if I can get to a point, and again, this is maybe just kind of experience over time, if I can get to a point where you're sustainable and you've got a credible name in music, right, and I'm not just doing PG Ciarletta singer-songwriter stuff, I'm in a point where I'm a co-writer and I'm writing with other people and I'm helping other people out, then to me that's a success. But I'm always going to have the dreams and ambitions to play, you know, the Glastonburys and the Hampden Parks and stuff. That's never going to change, man. I always aim high. You may never get as high as you want to go, but by aiming high you can kind of get pretty high along the way.
Definitely get near to it. You get a lot nearer to it if you didn't.
So that's it. Like for me, like I'm ambitious. Like you want to do the stadiums, you want to do the biggest festivals, you want to get to number one in the charts, all that sort of stuff. That's always going to be your dreams and ambitions. But it's all part of the journey. But I'm just obviously excited to see what happens.
Of course.
It's fate. If you get there, it's fate. If you didn't get there, I'm sure you'll still do a lot of amazing things and have a fucking great time. So that's what it's all about.
It's all about enjoying the journey, innit? Because it's one thing to look at these are the goals and I'll not be happy until I reach them, but it's enjoying the moment. Like as you say, like, you know, you're in a band, you're playing King Tut's a part of the Summer Nights, man. It's like when you started, you would have dreamed of this moment, and now you're living it. So it's plus as well, it re-establishes the confidence. Like, well, I dreamt about getting to this stage, so the dream about reaching the next stage or even further afield seems a lot more realistic than it maybe did at the start. So do you do this as a full-time living?
Not at the moment. You still have kind of jobs and that on the side.
Still have bills to pay, unfortunately.
So it's interesting. Like you still have bills and that to pay, but you build over time, and there will come the right moment where you can, you know, go full time and you've got enough to keep you going. So it's just I think most people are more or less the same. It's kind of you'll either have a job or you'll kind of be like a student or that to start with. So like it's just kind of building it and reaching the point where you can totally go for it. But again, that's all part of the journey and the plan. You know what I mean? That's
exactly it, mate. I mean, you need to put in the graft to eventually get there and reach the heights. So is there any kind of dream gigs or collabs? You said a dream gig would be Hampden as such, selling it out. Anybody you'd like to kind of work with? Maybe as a songwriter, or maybe writing a song or performing a song with?
So when I grew up, like I loved The View, and there was also a band called Sergeant. I've been lucky enough that I've been out to kind of Spain with Kyle, Falconer and stuff.
Been out to Spain?
Yeah, they do like a writing camp in Spain, like for like loads of different for singer-songwriters and bands.
What does this writing camp consist of? Do you pay money to go to it, or do you get invited?
So you basically you can pay, you go. It's like a villa in Spain, but like for the whole time you're just having a good time. But then you're jamming with other musicians, and you're jamming with like guest writers as well, that are like people that have been kind of really successful in the music industry. So that's a sort of great experience. So I've kind of had that, which is great in the past. But kind of looking forward, Jerry Cinnamon would be class, man. I would love that. But I do have, been lucky enough when I played in Glasgow, supported an artist called Lois Dunford.
Right. He's brilliant, man. I like some of his songs.
Amazing. Like just again, more just from a London perspective, but it's kind of London inner city folk tales, like real life sort of stuff. I love that style of music. Would love to work with him. I just love his lyrics, man. I think his lyrics are fucking unbelievable, and his songs are great. So I'd love to perform live with him and write with him as well. But I take the Gallaghers, that'd be class. Jerry Cinnamon, and then I like the Kyle stuff as well. So I was lucky as well. So I did. I went to one of Kyle's shows, and he's got the song "The View" Face for the radio, and it was a couple of minutes before he went on, and he was just like, "Right, you're coming up for Face for the Radio, but you're doing the backing vocals." So then he's like 3 songs in, he's like, "Right, such and such, he's coming on the stage," and he always rips me. He calls me the Ouija Pfeiffer, man. It's a totally different story. So he gets on the stage and he's just like, "Right," he's like, "Right, you're fucking singing it." And then we just and then I just went for it. But again, it was just that thing. Like he was, again, like going back to a 5-a-side team when you've got quality players. The quality players make you look good. You know what I mean? But it was just like that. You're playing with a quality musician, and it was just totally improvised. But the crowd fucking loved it, and the place went crazy.
Fuck.
You know what I mean?
So where was that? What venue?
So that was in PG Malloy's.
Right, whereabouts is that?
So that's in Dunfermline.
Right,
so
I
he was
see.
Kind of he was doing the circuit round playing like the wee acoustic
Was
gigs.
he playing it as Kyle Falconer solo act?
Aye, that
Right,
night, just
right.
solo acoustic. So you go to them and it's like just sold out venue of people and they're all just singing all his songs, the View songs, covers and stuff like that, and it's great. But aye, that was great. Like I do like that sort of in the moment sort of stuff. But aye, those sort of names, those are the ones I'd like to sort of collab with and stuff.
Definitely get that on your
But I'm always
manifestation
open, man.
board.
Anybody who wants to write or perform, man, just DM me. Email me.
Slide in the DMs,
Slide-
just minus the dick
Aye,
pics.
be a DM slider.
So how did this writing camp go? What was your experience of that? Anything mental go down there? Who did you meet out there? For Kyle Faulkner was there? Was he part of the camp? What was it? He meant to be there, or did you?
Aye.
He just so happened to be there and you went to it?
So he was a guest writer. So he was there. There was a band called the Shambolics. I know they two boys.
Oh, I
really
fucking
well
like their music.
as well. So they were out there. So that was the example. So it's like bands from Scotland, bands from England, a lot of indie sort of bands. So your experience. So you've got Kyle there. You've got producers, and then you've got bands and artists. So you just go and you'll set time with the writers.
Aye.
You'll come with your ideas. You'll work together. You'll learn off people, and then you'll just have a big sort of jam. You know what I mean?
Right, I see.
Big jam. So it's a lot of writing, a lot of they got like a pool and stuff like that. So you're out there in the sun, having a good time, relaxing, and then just a lot of jamming and singing and that as well. So
Brilliant,
all
man.
round a good time. So that's one of the camps. I know there's people that do that style of things as well. But if you're kind of looking for ideas and you want to learn and you want to improve, it's those sort of stuff. Strike up good connections with people, and then you also come away with some bangers and that as well.
Totally. So what did you learn for that camp that we were able to implement in your songwriting process?
So from that side of stuff, again, I think what I took there again, the melody side of things, letting the melody kind of drive what you're doing, and then also just kind of lyrics and structuring as well.
Right. So do you implement these techniques into your writing today?
Aye. Not just from that experience, just from different times when I work with different writers and stuff as well. There'll be certain techniques and there'll be certain things these people do. There'll be also things I'll watch like TikTok as well. Like there's Guy Chambers is a great example. He's a guy that more or less co-wrote like Angels by Robbie Williams and stuff like that.
Aye.
Just real life stuff with working with writers and other artists, but then also watching the content. Man, folk will show you how they've wrote a song. That's why I like start learning the keys, because I've seen somebody do it on TikTok, being like, this is how I got back to the home note. You know what I mean? It was just like a progression of notes, and I was like, if I didn't have a keyboard or knew how to do that, I wouldn't be able to do that. You know what I mean? So like now when I do that, it's totally changed. Like I'll kind of consider these things to see where I go in the song. So my process just evolves over time. Doesn't stay static, it just evolves over time.
That's
Always
it. It's
change.
just it's always been the student in it. Always been willing to learn and always been willing to try new things, because as a prime example, man, for me, I fucking reached a stalemate just doing the same shit. Because after a while, the brain's like, right, let's try something new, mate. And you'll get to a point as well, your audience will notice it, and it's constantly trying to evolve and be an artist in it.
Aye, 100%.
Especially. So, what are your plans for the future? Right now, you've got this gig at King Tut's. Have you got anything else lined up? Music-wise, have you got any releases of that as well?
Aye, so it's been great. Great year so far. So King Tut's Friday 14th of July. That's the big show.
Where can people get tickets?
So basically all of my social media, there's a link on my socials. Link on all my stories. It's just everywhere, man. You know what I mean? On my website, on the King Tut's website, there's tickets there. So if you want a big night of music, get on there, get a ticket, and we'll have a fucking mad one.
Friday night at Tut's. Do not miss it.
So that's the sort of near future. So I have been working new songs. I do have a new song that I'm about to start to announce and start the sort of release process for that. So that's kind of coming as well as a double whammy, very very soon. And then from there there'll be kind of taking the show to different parts of the country. Keep the releases going as well. Keep that going, and then keep going on the socials. Keep building there, and then again for me it's just keep trying to get on the festivals. Hopefully somebody takes me on a big support tour. I would love that. And then if I can get kind of supports up and down the country, into Europe and that, man, I'd fucking take that in a heartbeat. So
and
that's
there you
the plan.
go, man. That's the full-time singer-songwriter, band fucking frontman.
Aye.
That's the job, innit? Right on the CV.
Aye, and that's it. And then just kind of writing all the time. Just keep that skill going. Keep trying new stuff. Keep working with different people. That's the plan, man.
Nah, that's it, man.
And have a good time.
Nah, that's exactly it. Enjoy every moment of it, man, because these are the best days of your life, man. You gotta be looking back like that. They were the fucking days, man.
Aye.
So, see if I could ask you a question. I always ask people this when I talk about legacy. Like, what do you want to establish in your life? Like, when in your dying moments, you're like, I'm glad I done that. I want to be remembered for that.
See, I think when I start, like, I always think about this recently, man. It's like, you do spend and you'll do certain routines in your life, and you're sitting there and you're like, fuck, you're like, one day you're just literally, and this is deep, man, it's like you're just going to sit there and your life's just going to flash, and that's it. And you'll be like, why the fuck did I not do that 50 years ago? Or why did I not do it 60 years ago? I think for me, like, obviously I want to kind of be successful, be remembered for my music, and I think for me as well, just kind of, if I can along the way give people a bit of happiness, inspire people, not just to do music but just different things in their life, because like for me there's different folk that inspired me in life, and the one is specifically musicians. They'd just be like people of similar backgrounds coming from similar areas across Scotland that I've just went, you know what, doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter where you're from, if you've got a talent, you've got a dream, you've got a passion, you can go for it, do the right things, be nice to people, work your fucking arse off, and then you can go and do something very special. So if I can obviously have a legacy there, but give folk happiness, but inspire people along the way as well, man. And that's it for me, man.
That's exactly it, man.
Box text.
Definitely, man. That's a part of the bucket list for you in it as well. Plus, it's easy with music as well. Music's got the potential to stay around long after you die, so you could pass on. Well, you will eventually one day. Hopefully, it's years and years away. You know what I mean? Don't want you to die tomorrow. Fuck's sake. So I need you to meet this gig. But, so with that, it's like music can stand the test of time for you. You can still do all these things. It's always there. Hopefully, unless fucking Spotify goes to fuck or whatever your stuff's on, man. But it's got the ability to transcend time and be that thing, be that vessel to carry on your message long after you pass away. So I hope it does happen for you, man, but it's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you. It's good to find somebody else that's kind of into the same stuff as me, you know what I mean? It's usually kind of different. Not many people I get on this singer-songwriters and that, so it's always good to pick somebody's brains and find out their methods and steal their secrets, you know what I mean?
That's it, man.
But it's been an absolute pleasure having you. Have you anything else you want to promote to the camera before you go or that?
Just the usual, man, just the shameful plug of... so on my socials and that, it's PG Ciarletta, good old Scottish second name. What, Scottish Italian?
Aye, what is it? Is it Italian?
Aye,
How
Italian.
do you say it? Ciarletta?
Ciarletta.
Ciarletta.
Like a CH, man. Like
aye,
CH,
right,
Ciarletta.
Right, aye, the silent H.
Aye, that's why I get slated. I get called Ciabatta and that all the time.
Oh,
no,
for fuck's sake, bastard. You bastards.
That's it. So aye, all the social media platforms, all the streaming platforms, you can find my socials there, music there. Give me a follow. And aye, Friday the 14th of July, get a ticket for King Tut's. Come along. It's going to be a fucking great night. And just... to yourself, man, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure and thanks for having me on.
Pleasure's all mine, people. Thank you very much for coming on, my friend. Everybody go and check him out and get a ticket. Friday the 14th in July. See you later, people. Like, subscribe and don't get wide. Catches.